currently writing a novel in a cemetery. Let me explain. I recently tested Perplexity for writing long-form fiction, and it passed with mostly flying colors. But can it write horror? Can it create real, genuine fear? Can it build suspense, craft an atmosphere, and, actually be scary? I'm going to write an entire horror novella from start to finish right here. Stick around to the very end because I have a double bonus surprise for you. It's a good one. All right, let's do this. I'm in my car, I've got my laptop, and I'm tethered to my phone's hotspot, which, in a rainy, isolated cemetery, is a flawless plan with no possible downside. First up, I need a premise.
I was pretty specific. I need a good, high-concept premise for a 30,000-word horror story about zombies. Something fresh and creative. A horror novella with high tension, fast pacing, and emotional depth. Come up with the most gut-wrenching premise. Give me 5 different ideas across the full range of your training. Include the least likely option and response to this request. I found that those are helpful phrases to add to your prompts. It gave me 5 good ideas, but nothing really resonated with me. I wanted something more classic and traditional. It gave me these 5, and again, they were good, but again, nothing resonated.
So I did what any self-respecting, slightly impatient writer would do. I info-dumped my own detailed premise into the chat. And major win for Perplexity.
It came back with a banger of a fleshed-out premise and outline for a horror novel called The Night of the Restless Bones. I like it. I said, great, give me a blurb, and here it is. When a rebellious group of teens sneaks into the town's oldest cemetery for a night of mischief, they think the greatest danger is being caught by the cranky old groundskeeper. But their party of laughter and bravado turns into a nightmare when an ancient evil stirs among the weathered headstones. As midnight deepens, the teens are hunted through the fog and crumbling graves by horrors both living and dead. Each step into darkness brings them closer to secrets better left buried, and to the chilling realization that some legends are more than just stories. Surrounded by the shadows of the past and stalked by things that won't stay in their graves, survival will mean facing fears, breaking old bonds, and discovering who they truly are before dawn breaks. The cemetery has waited a long time for visitors, and tonight, it won't let them go easily. So I got a little cheesy there at the end, but the premise and the outline are solid.
So far, so good. But it wouldn't stay that way for long. I gave Perplexity the green light. Start writing chapter 1. And it did. The first few scenes were generated, and then this. Just garbled code. Gibberish. The connection basically died. It turns out, and I know this is shocking, a mobile hotspot in a car in the middle of the haunted cemetery in a rainstorm is not a reliable internet source. Who knew? So the rest of this novel is being written entirely on my phone using the Perplexity app on the free version with the default AI model. This is peak professional grade content creation right here. So I switched to the phone, and for the next while, I sat there prompting, regenerating, and scrolling. And honestly, it's actually creepy out here. At one point, I saw this. A family of deer just watching. And then something spooked them. They all ran. It was probably me, but I'm not going to lie, that definitely added to the atmosphere. Okay, we're halfway through. I'm asking for the next chapter. Definitely wouldn't want to be out here at night. Zombies or no zombies. Why did I do this to myself? And done. It's finished. Perplexity has generated a horror novel. So the results. The first thing I noticed, it created 5 chapters. The outline, if you'll recall, had 10 chapters. So this is significantly shorter. I asked it, did you follow the outline? And it confidently lied to me. It said, yeah, I followed the 10-chapter outline. No Perplexity. No, you did not. But okay, let's talk about the content. I'm going to read a few snippets. They clinked cans and cheered. For a moment, it felt harmless, a secret pocket of teenage freedom carved out of something ancient. Laughter rose into the night air. Even Emma started to relax, tracing the names on a nearby headstone. Amos Wren, 1832 to 1891. The engraving caught moonlight in its grooves. She brushed away moss and thought of long-forgotten funerals, of life sealed beneath her feet. Okay, I love that. The word choice, the descriptions, Perplexity is excellent at that. It really set a mood. And there were a couple parts where I literally laughed out loud. This is one of them.
Come on, Emma, Jake called over his shoulder. What's he going to do? Call our parents? The old man can barely walk. Emma's flashlight trembled a little in her hand. It's still trespassing. He's probably armed. Harper let out a short bark of laughter. Her bleached hair shimmered under the moon. Armored with what? A rake? Relax, Sunday school. We're here to pay our respects.
Now that's actually funny. The story was different than what I expected, and really even what I wanted. It's good, but it's not great, and it could be so much better. Wait, what? This transition here is where I got genuinely confused. Upon rereading it, I saw how it technically connected, but the confusion completely broke the spell and pulled me right out of the story. And then there was the whole not following the outline and giving me something much shorter. Overall, Perplexity did a good job at writing a horror story. I definitely think that it has potential, but it definitely has flaws.
Stay with me, your bonuses are coming. But first,
What did I learn from all of this? Number one, don't use your phone's mobile hotspot in a haunted cemetery to write a novel. That's just a pro tip from me to you. Two, if you want a specific story, you need to be incredibly specific with your instructions. Don't just give it an outline and say, go. Prompt it scene by scene. Say something like, write scene 1 of chapter 1, reference this outline with a target of 800 words. More specific prompts get better outcomes.
speaking of better prompts, here are a few that I think you should try to write better horror with AI. Number one, generating modern thematic concepts. You could use this prompt. Act as a horror genre analyst. I need to brainstorm a horror concept that functions as a dark, funfair mirror for a specific real-world anxiety. The anxiety is, and then you insert your anxiety, for example, the powerlessness of climate change or the isolation of social media. Generate 5 novel or film concepts where this anxiety is made tangible as a monster, entity, or horrific situation. The story must be intrinsically political and explore modern themes of social commentary or powerlessness. So, of course, you could adapt this in lots of different ways, and it's based on deep research into the horror genre. Prompt number 2, developing a protagonist. I am developing a psychological horror protagonist. My concept is, and then you insert it, help me choose between 2 models. The Jackson Vessel model. Brainstorm how the horror could be ambiguous, routed entirely through the character's perception. What is their unstable emotional state? For example, depression, guilt, suppressed trauma, that makes them an unreliable interpreter of events. Or, number 2, the King manifestation model. Brainstorm how the protagonist's internal conflict, for example, addiction, rage, past sin, could literally become the external conflict. How does their flaw act as a magnet for an unambiguous external monster? These are advanced prompts based on real horror genre concepts and techniques. Number 3, crafting a complex antagonist. My protagonist's primary internal flaw is, put it there, for example, crippling guilt over a past mistake or narcissistic need for validation. I need to design an antagonist that functions as a dark mirror or metaphor for this flaw. Brainstorm 3 different monsters or villains that exploit this specific weakness. For each concept, explain its clear motivation and how defeating this monster will force the protagonist to confront their internal flaw. Structuring a horror screenplay or novel. Act as a story structure expert. I'm outlining a horror script using the 6 obligatory scenes framework. Generate a 1-paragraph beat for each of the following. The monster attack scene. The protagonist ignores the warning. The true nature of the monster is revealed, and start the ticking clock. The protagonist becomes the victim. The protagonist at the monster's mercy, including a false ending. The protagonist escapes the monster, including a final twist. Number 5, writing high-tension prose, the crescendo. I need to rewrite a 150-word passage of horror prose to create a crescendo of terror. The scene is, describe the scene, take the following passage and rewrite it. The new version must use lean and claustrophobic prose. Employ short sentences and fragments, and be a miser with commas to mimic the character's panicked breathing and fragmented thoughts. Then you paste the passage here for the AI to update. Subverting tropes in horror. For example, the final girl trope. I am writing a slasher and want to subvert and then enter the trope, for example, the final girl trope. The classic trope rewards purity and intellectual superiority. Brainstorm 3 modern subversions for my protagonist. Insert the character name based on the reconstruction models. Number 1, the Your Next model, victim is hyper competent. Number 2, the All the Boys Love Mandy Lane model, victim is the killer. Or number 3, the X model, the sinner survives because of her perceived sins, which are actually forms of agency. Prompt number 7, adapting internal conflict, the B story. I'm adapting a novel to a screenplay. The novel relies heavily on the protagonist's internal conflict of, insert the internal conflict, for example, grief over her child's death. This is the internal versus external problem. I need to create a B storyline that dramatizes this internal theme through a relationship. Brainstorm a B story that can carry this emotional weight visually, similar to the Lee Reagan story in A Quiet Place. Number 8, scripting sound and silence. I need to write a 1-page screenplay scene or a 1-page scene in a novel or story where a character must be completely silent to avoid a threat. Very common in horror stories. The scene must have no dialogue. Write the scene using proper novel or screenplay formatting, including a note in the scene header, clear visual descriptions of nonverbal storytelling, body language, facial expressions, a single crucial sound, for example, a creak or a crack, written in all caps to trigger the startle reflex. All of these can be adapted for screenplays, for short stories, for novels, for any kind of script, really. And they're very versatile, so I encourage you to play around and experiment with them.
Now, remember that bonus surprise I mentioned at the beginning? The entire 5-chapter novella that Perplexity wrote for me in the cemetery is available for free right now.
From the author of Night of Restless Bones.
I formatted it, gave it a cover, and the download link is in the description and in the pinned comment. But I had another idea. What if this story was just one AI's interpretation? What if I gave the exact same premise, my info dumped detailed premise, to another AI? So I did. I gave the same premise to Claude, and that novel is also available for free right now. Both novels, both free. You can download them, compare them, and see for yourself which AI did a better job. The links for both are in the description and the pinned comment. To answer the question that I asked at the very beginning, can AI write a truly scary horror novel in a haunted cemetery? Well, it can certainly write a novel. Whether it's scary or not, I'll let you be the judge.